Oh, as promised, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting right here with Curtis Grant. You know him as a starting linebacker on the 2014 Ohio State National Championship team. But 20 years from now, you might know him as one of the great entrepreneurs in Columbus. Curtis, welcome to the Tim May Show, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing today?
It's been a long time, man. I've been wanting to hook up with you. Heck, been wanting to hook up with you earlier in your business career when you had a car dealership going. But now you've branched off into this pure green, juice?
Juice smoothie. So we're juicing smoothie acai.
Yeah,
acai bowls and oatmeal power bowls and avocado toast and cold pressed juices.
Yeah. What got you into that, Curtis?
At the time, I had my barber in Virginia. He was cutting my hair. He was telling me about all his new business adventures. And I was looking to diversify from the trucker company just because we just had all our eggs in one basket. And I was talking to my wife about it. I didn't think that that's kind of the appropriate thing to do,
Yeah.
So we were looking for something else to give us to just diversify and something fun, because just being in the logistic world, we always run into highly aggressive people every day, and it gets kind of draining. And you're doing a lot of babysitting.
Yeah.
So I mean,
working deals. Basically.
Working deals. We're talking to people from different countries. We're working with our drivers. We're talking to people in the ports. I mean, mentorships. I mean, we're other sister companies. So it's just busy for 24 hours all day long. And I'm like, well, babe, we have to add something to our repertoire where we can, put it there and manage it and let it grow on its own.
Yeah, organically.
Organically, yes, pretty much. So we started getting into looking at different things, and it was actually my cousin's idea. She was like, I want a juice bar. And I was like, that don't sound too bad. So as we kept talking about it, then the opportunity presented itself to us. And so he invited us down to come take a tour of the place and, basically come taste the product. And when I originally was supposed to go, I didn't make it. So my wife and I, we had started our gym journey pretty much together. And after, I was like, you want to go to the juice bar with me, babe? She was like, sure. So we go down to the juice bar, and the aesthetic when we walked in was immaculate.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, babe, I'm starting to feel the energy in here. Like, I want is the product as good as the place looks? Because, you've been some places, and it's like, the place looks good, but the food is horrible, and it's overly priced.
Yeah.
So, the first thing you go in, you're not used to the place. You ask, what's your specials? Like, what do people usually buy? So they started naming off smoothies, and the one that stuck out to me and my wife both is called the Blue Banana. So we ordered 2 blue bananas, and I got an acai bowl, mixed berry acai bowl with almond butter on top. My first sip, her first sip, we immediately locked eyes and was like, yes, we want one of these.
Yeah. If we like it, others are going to like it.
Yeah, if we like it, because we love to cook, we love to entertain. So we do Sunday dinners and stuff and invite family and friends over, especially during football season and during the summertime. We love to cook. She's usually on the sides and I'm usually on the grill, or now we kind of combine it now. You don't know who's going to do what.
Yeah.
As long as seafood's not involved, because she's allergic to seafood. But other than that, we get together and we saw another opportunity to bring that to campus, bring our love and our charismatic energy here to campus, and just gives campus a different look, a different outlook, something different. Yeah, it's a juice bar, but it's not just any old juice bar. Just the aesthetics in here alone, we don't look like any other, and just the product, we taste like no other juice bar.
Yeah, I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here at 1475 North High Street, which is the address of your Pure Green establishment, and it's right down the street from Ohio State University.
Right.
What is it about you former football players, man, especially, you just can't seem to leave? You're obviously not from this area. I mean, but can't seem to leave. You always keep your finger in something involved, in the Columbus area and stuff. What's the attraction?
I think it's really the camaraderie that you have built here through the tough times, through the training and the games and all the winning and all the winning and losing, all the workouts. And to be honest, it's hard to kind of grow in places where people don't know you. It's 10 times harder to grow. And usually just being around some of your old teammates spark fire back into your life. being around, people like, Duran, Braxton, Chase, those type of guys that are from Ohio. Me being from Virginia, when you come back, it's kind of like, hey, did you talk to such and such over here? Then the Bourne brothers, it's like you catch up with them, or Jeff Hireman or Joel Hill. You start talking about these guys that I play with, and it's like, well, they're doing this, they're doing that, and then they start having, and everyone is having all these events, and then you start meeting your older guys like Mike Doss, D. Miller, and all those type of guys. You start to get put back into the circle again, and it's like the things that you were trying to accomplish either back home or in a different state, it's taken 1,000 times longer than would have been because someone has, now you have to gain trust from someone that don't even know who you are, you don't have any connection to. Then it's, instead of like saying, hey, I'm back in town, is there any events that can I attend, can I show up, this is what I have going on, what do you have going on, maybe if we might not be able to collab on this, can you point me in the right direction? And ever since I've been back, I've had even, friends of other friends, Chuck and my guy Trey Tiller. Those people we talk on a daily. They've been becoming a part of my brotherhood, and they've taken the time to help point me in the right direction. And then you meet some of their friends and family. Then it's like, you're doing what? You got a juice bar. You got this, and so it makes things move a lot smoother, more efficient, and a lot quicker. For us, and us as being former athletes, a lot of times we're used to that fast-paced life. We're not used to people taking forever, emailing, waiting for a response,
taking their time.
Taking 6 months to be able to accomplish something we could have did in 2 weeks. We're not used to that, so we're used to, hey, how fast can we get it done? That's just our mindset. That's just how things go. Because even being a football player, you think every week we play someone different. We only have 3 to 4 days to learn a team that we're not going to play ever again until no time soon. Not unless they're a good team this time, or sometime next year.
Yeah.
So
exactly. It's really funny because as you're talking there, I'm just thinking, there's equity you build up here being an Ohio State football player.
Right.
If you do it right.
Right.
But I'm really impressed by you ex-players, basically in the last 20, 25 years. I've been covering Ohio State football for 41 years, and but it's just y'all are building up a network or a band of brothers that do lean on each other.
Yes.
And it's not just the good old times about talking about 3rd and 1 against Michigan or something. It's about 3rd and 1 making a business go and stuff. And boy, I would think that's a very valuable network.
It's a very valuable network because you get the guys that come back here and they see the value in what's going on and being a part of the Ohio State brand.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go anywhere in the country and say OH and somebody's not saying IO. I mean, I've been, even just like a couple weeks ago, I was doing an event for Nike. And even on the plane back from Baton Rouge, it was people in Ohio State gear. Yeah. It's like we're in Louisiana, in New Orleans.
Yeah.
We're Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and that is a long way from Ohio, and you still have some type of network, and people just love the brand of Ohio State. So when you come back and you explain the things that you've accomplished in your career, and it's like people want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And then you tell a friend, they tell a friend, to tell another friend, the next thing you know, you build relationships that are valuable. And I think that's the main thing about being here in Columbus. You're building relationships that are valuable to help you and your family, because a lot of players now, they have families, and you can't afford to be in a place where you can't grow. And a lot of places, don't allow you to grow like Columbus does.
Yes, I was going to say it's a target-rich environment, as they say in Top Gun and stuff. Well, I wanted to get you into this, Curtis. How did you end up in this spot? Why did you decide this was the spot to open basically a juice smoothie, acai? How you say it? Acai bowl establishment.
Are you actually like, what made me choose this location?
Yeah, this location.
Originally, we were looking at locations a little bit further up, but the deals fell through.
Yeah.
And we were a little weary about opening here. My wife and I, as we traveled from Virginia probably for about a month, maybe a month and a half, just looking at different locations. to figure out exactly what would be the right spot. I mean, we looked up there on North High Street. We thought that was going to be perfect, but that deal fell through. And we just kept looking and kept looking. And, you know, we stood across the street over there by the Popeyes on the opposite side of the street. And it was something unique about this place, but the thing that kind of turned us off just a little bit was the liquor store.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to have a very vibrant brand pulled down by, you know, liquor, because it doesn't really, everyone drinks.
Connect,
yeah. People drink, I drink.
Yeah.
But it's not connecting with the health and wellness.
Yes.
So we just didn't want, it just, you know what I mean? We didn't want that place to kind of like drive down or make people feel uncomfortable for coming in here.
Yeah.
You know, because of the attraction that they attract. And there's nothing wrong with what they got going on, but health and wellness and kind of liquor, not unless you're mixing it with the juices, you know,
right,
making a nice little mixed drink, then that's on you. So we kept thinking, and we just kept walking up and down the street, and we said, well, babe, when we looked at it and said, babe, we'd be the only ones on this corner. For kind of between now and I think Taco Bell. Yeah. All the other food restaurants are pretty much closed down and heading north on our side of the street. Until you get to like the Taco Bells and that breakfast spot.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot that spot.
Yeah, they don't need any publicity.
So we was like, well, we can just make this little corner ours. Yeah. And then in the midst of that, they ended up closing down, and next door, they're about to put a 13-story, I was told a 13-story high-rise full of students.
Yeah, there's a drum, or a rim shot here or something.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So that's what drew us to this spot here.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're continuing to try to get this bridge between Short North and the campus. We're kind of on the north end of that bridge where you can feel safe going places, up and down and stuff. I like this location, 1475 North High Street, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this, Curtis. When you first got out of, let's get into this. Number one, what was your impression of the 2024 Ohio State football team and its run to the championship? What stood out to you most? I know that's jumping tracks, but I'll segue.
It's fine. What stood out to me the most is how they came together after that Michigan loss. I was a little worried about us after the Michigan loss because I just didn't see at the time. Only thing we could really have was hope. Yeah. Because after the performance, it wasn't the best performance. And I felt like our team was way better than their team. So I don't know what was, going on throughout the locker room. I'm not in there. Yeah. I'm not a coach.
Something wasn't right.
Something just wasn't right. And for us to come back and to be able to come together, I say we because I'm still a part of the brotherhood. Sure. Blood, sweat, and tears. For us to be able to come together and go on a run like that is very impressive because the biggest knock was we can't beat Michigan. Our offensive line is not that good. We're going to get destroyed. We have weapons, but if he can't get the ball, our defense isn't that good. But to go back and watch those coaches pull those guys back in and to be able to perform like that in the first 12-game playoff is very impressive.
I was going to say, it finally, all these pieces kind of finally came together, but there was also, I thought there was, that team could have gone either way because we all know about the payroll, the $20 million payroll and all this stuff, and you think there's a lot of independent contractors involved in that, when in fact, push come to shove time, they all came together as opposed in a common cause instead of just cashing their check and moving on. That means there was leadership inside, right? I'm not forget about the coaches. Yeah. There was leadership inside that team that came to the fore, right?
For sure. I think the leadership, even going back to when we lost to Virginia Tech back in 2014?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think the difference between the kids and an NFL team that they're still kids, and they still love the game of football. The business side has hit college football, but it's not the same as the NFL. Yeah. Because those are really independent contractors. But when you have to get up and still have to listen to Coach Mick and his staff on the daily, That's totally different than being able to just go to the NFL. I work out when I feel like working out. Those guys are still getting up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
4 or 5 in the morning. Still have to go compete. They still have to do spring ball. They still have to do winter workouts. That stuff is what builds the team camaraderie. So it kind of throws the money out of the picture for a while. But in the NFL, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
You see a team for 2 months in the off season, then you come back, and then my teammate here may not be here tomorrow.
Right.
So,
or the guy that just walked in the door, they may have brought him in to take your job.
Now, I've seen people shake hands and be like, "Hey, bro, I ain't seen you in a while." That person came in, and 10 minutes later, the person they just shook hands with is gone, and then the new guy that just came in is coming in. But college football isn't like that right now. Will it probably get to that? It may.
Yeah.
But it's still some type of way where though they have to build some type of relationship with each other to be able to go for the same common goal.
And so, what did you see that stood out most in that 4-game run? Because you guys had a similar challenge. You lost your starting quarterback. You're hanging like a thread on whether you're going to get invited to the first ever 14 college football playoff. We're talking about 2014, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all have the ridiculous victory over Wisconsin with Cardale, throwing to Devin Smith, et cetera, and Zeke going off. You guys on defense shut out Wisconsin. You know what I mean? What do you remember about that group with that challenge that came together that week? You understand what I'm saying? And did you see a similar spark?
I definitely seen a similar spark. I remember that week, it was Coach Hiram. He was a special teams coach. We always call him on. He brought Jeff Hiram, Mike Bennett, myself, Duran, and Everett Spencer, and I may be forgetting one more, in a room and sat us down and said, "Hey man, you guys can win. I've seen this before." He said, if you listen to Coach Meyer and follow what Coach Meyer is telling you, and you get your other teammates to buy in, you guys will win a national championship. Now, we're sitting in the room like, we believe it because we're seniors. At the end of the day, how do we get the rest of the team to believe it?
Yeah.
So I think what the approach that we took was every guy that he brought in the room was a senior. And us as seniors, we got together and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And if they don't abide by this, then they can't play.
Yeah.
We'd be like, hey, coach, you got to get them out the game.
Yeah.
They can't play. If they're not going to do what they're asked to do, then we're not going to lead them the right way. We're not going to win at all. Anyway, because it comes down to coaching a little bit when it comes to certain strategy, but at the end of the day, if the players don't perform, you're not going to win. You could be the best OC, DC, whatever, best special teams coordinator, but if you can't get the guys to buy into what you're talking about, it's never going to happen. So all I remember is on the defensive side, we always said it's up to us. It has nothing to do with offense. If we can give them the ball back, give them great field position, and give Cardale a chance to, Cardale and Tom Herman a chance to be able to get on the same page and not be able to go 100 yards. And if they can go 40 to 50 yards, we got a chance.
Yeah.
But if they gotta go from backed up on the 5 and the 2 yard line and try to go 98, 100-yard drives, we're not going to win the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So Coach Meyer's biggest thing, what he always teaches was field position and learn how to flip the field. So that was the main thing. I think as a defense, we came together to make sure the ball was always given to the offense in a place where they could go score.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted Tom Herman to tell Cardale and the rest of the guys, dial it up on offense, and we're going to make sure you get the ball back in good field position. And then we were hard on the young kids as well about paying the young guys about getting the ball like tackles inside the 20 on kickoff, flipping it, getting Cameron Johnson to kick the ball, punt the ball at the opposite end, and the gunners, Devin Smith and Gary On and Corey Smith, those type of guys coming in to be able to down the ball. So that way the defense will always make that offense be play backed up. So the playbook goes from this big to this big because they're so backed up and we're so close to being able to get the ball.
Yeah, just basically playing football.
Yeah, just playing football.
As you look back on that, and it's really funny because we're sitting here in your juice store, and one of Urban's big thing, Urban Mickey Marotti would bring the juice, right? I mean,
I'm bringing the juice
funny,
now,
man,
for sure.
it comes full circle, right?
Yeah,
But
we're
just,
really bringing the juice.
But as you look back on that run against Wisconsin, and then of course Alabama, and then Oregon, with Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota at quarterback. But as you look back on that run, what is that one play? Don't give me 6. Give me that one play that just sticks in your head. And maybe it's from a defensive bias, you know what I mean? But give me that one play that still sticks in your head that, boy, that was the linchpin. That was the, that really propelled us. Could have been in any one of those 3 games.
I got 2.
Okay,
I'll
let you go.
I got to go 2. I think the simulated pressure we get ran against Alabama and Steve Miller caught the interception.
That was the one in my head.
That one was a game changer.
A defensive lineman, ladies and gentlemen, scored a touchdown with an interception.
And I think what was cool about it, the convoy that led him to the end zone, we were all seniors.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one. And another cool one, is still in the same game, was the reverse pass to Evan Spencer and the Michael Thomas toe tap.
Yeah.
Those 2 plays were some of the biggest plays in college football history ever.
Yeah.
Because those 2 plays really propelled us forward to be able to seal the deal on Alabama.
Yeah, you still get, maybe I still get goosebumps when you brought those plays up. Because, because what it finally comes down to is guys making plays.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about strategy, all this kind of stuff, that puts you in position.
Right.
But then when you get that moment,
Yeah.
do you seize it?
Yeah.
The moment's not guaranteed you're going to get unless you're a quarterback. You're going to have the ball every play. Maybe you can make something happen. But when guys make plays out of their rear end, you saw that for Ohio State in that 4-game run,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
I mean, and especially against Texas.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Jack Sawyer with the strip, Travion Henderson with the screen run. Shoot, just in Booker just being open and Tate just being open. They take away. They got 3 guys on Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
And then they forget that we still got other top players. You got Juckins running the ball.
Yeah.
You got Will Howard distributing the ball really good. I mean, that game wasn't a lot of big. Let's throw the ball as far as we can go and see if the guys go get it. It was just let's take what they can give us. Let's nickel and dime it. Get the ball in our playmakers' hands and win the game.
And then, of course, the play that clinched it was a chunk it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the championship
Yep.
game against Notre Dame to Jeremiah Smith.
Yep.
Takes guts finally, right?
Yep.
I mean, everybody's probably including the coaches to even call something like that. Chip Kelly acted like that wasn't that big a call. And I goes, it wasn't a gutsy call. I go, are you kidding me?
It's a gutsy call. I mean, it's JJ. I'm going JJ.
Yeah.
I'm putting $1,000 on JJ every time he lines up. I throw the ball to JJ. But at the same time, we knew, everybody knew, the country knew that defense couldn't. I mean, they were good.
Yeah.
They just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
The receivers that we have are top notch. They're great players. They're coached very, very, very well.
Yeah.
And you can see the way the DBs play and how much space that they give, that they don't want to be in those guys' face. They want help. They pretend to be top lockdown corners, but it doesn't show on tape.
Yeah.
It just
Lord, don't let it be me. Right? It's like a shortstop.
Right.
Curtis, explain to people what it does for a player, number one, to be a part of a team like that, but number 2, to have national championship on his resume. What will these guys enjoy 10 years from now from that experience that maybe they don't even realize yet?
A lot of connections to the city. I mean, a lot of people remember who you are. And I mean, the doors that open are unlimited, especially when they figure out who you are and what you've done. People just love Ohio State football. And I will say Ohio State, with the brand of what they've recruited over the years, we don't have a lot of knuckleheads. It's every now and then, but majority of the people that are recruited to Ohio State are high-class people.
Yeah.
Very down-to-earth guys, very passionate guys about what they do, very family-oriented guys. Like I said, you have your few that's a knucklehead. Nobody's going to be perfect, but out of 120 people, I would say over 80% of the team is really good, smart, genuine guys.
Grounded dudes.
Grounded guys.
Yeah. What does that do for the locker room and for the meeting room when you have guys like that with maybe it's not a singular purpose.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to move on to the
Right.
next level if they can get. That's why a lot of reasons why they come to Ohio State. But what does it just do to be sitting in a room where that guy, Joshua Perry's thinking kind of the same way I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About dealing with Marcus Mariota, or what is. You don't have to be. In other words, you don't have to be beat into that. It's already in you,
Yeah,
right? What
right.
does that just do from a fellow player standpoint of having that self-satisfaction, or whether it's self-assurance that this guy's goal is the same as mine?
It's easier because we're here for the same common goal.
Yeah.
The guy that's playing for stats, it's not going to really, if he's playing for stats and we don't know about it, that's fine. But the guy that's like, oh, I got this many tackles, then we know that he's not really a part of the culture that we're looking for, the brotherhood that we're looking for.
Yeah.
We had some of those guys on the team, but they were put in places to maybe be able to make those plays, to be able to have those plays as well.
Yeah.
So you all know who's on the team, who's going to stick out, and who's going to be able to do what because of their capabilities of being able to do what they've been asked to. But the main thing is, back when we played, nobody really boasted about who had this or what about that. It was just, Urban had the team to the point where it was like, it's us. It's not just you, it's us. We all know if we give Zeke the ball, he's going for 200.
Yeah.
But he can't do that without the offensive line. So everything that goes on, JJ can't be JJ without his offensive line. Yeah. Because the ball has to go from the center to the quarterback to him. Yeah. That's two people before it gets to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's still a beast, but without an offensive line, could he, would it still be the same thing?
Yeah.
Not if Will Howard's getting sacked. He's not going to be able to get the ball. So being able to come together as a team for the same common goal is the most important thing. And then you'll get your stats. You'll get yours.
Okay, we've taken our tour now. I want to know, we talked about the team. We talked about, you being a young businessman who's got all kinds of things going on in the import-export business, trucking business, here in your juice store, Pure Green, which is opening on March 1st, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested, 1475 North High Street. I like putting those commercials in there because you're not paying me a dime. But I guess my last question for you is, what did you learn that's maybe even reflected in this store about the importance of team play? I mean, you're putting up this store. You're not going to be here 24/7. You're going to have to rely on a manager and people working here to put forth the product the way you want it presented, etc. That takes a lot of effort on your part, but then it takes effort on their part. So did being on a team, a championship team, teach you some of those things about how important the team aspect is? I'm not being Pollyanna here. That's what makes the world go round.
No, I think the things that were instilled in us as core values while we were as former football players, that were instilled, that Urban put into us at an early age, gave us a foundation for something for us to always be able to rely on. So my example to a lot of people, I like to work out every day. And why I work out every day is because that's the biggest test I'm going to have throughout the day. Because I'm going to control what I can control. So if I put myself through a physical workout that's going to kick my butt, I control how much weight that's going to go. So that creates a mentality. The same way as we're at the Woody, Mix puts us through crazy workouts to create a mentality to be able to create a bond here. So we can go win and go compete. But I'm not going to be able to put these people through a crazy workout. Or the employees that will come here. My main thing for people that want to come here and want to work, I want this place to be a place where they love to come to work. And how do we do that? They have to understand the core values. They have to understand how we operate. And I'm not saying, you can't show up 15 minutes late. We have to be early. We have to be 10 to 15 minutes early. We have to be able to greet customers. These people, anytime these people come into this location, they gotta feel the love and the energy that's coming from this location, or it won't be here long.
Yeah.
So I think on my part and my wife's part, as we continue to learn, develop as entrepreneurs and as franchise owners, and learning different things from the franchisor to be able to implement in our business, I think that us doing the trainings and giving people the opportunity, showing them the right way, and building that culture here the same way that we build at our household as husbands, build as teammates at the Woody or gym buddies, whatever it may be. Because nobody wants to go to a place where it's just dull and dead. Nobody wants to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So we want to make this place a very high energetic place. We come in, music will be going, music will be inside, outside, the lights, the aesthetic, superfood smoothies and oatmeal bowls and acai bowls and cold pressed juices. We want to bring that stuff to life. And we want people to come in to enjoy that.
Yeah.
So the stuff that we learned at the Woody has been so good, because I still use it to this day. And that's what helps me get through. And people are like, Kurt, you don't never quit. You're always doing this. You're doing that. How are you doing it? You don't sleep. You slept for 5 hours the other day. Because I've been trained never to quit until I get what I want.
Yeah. Hard work becomes a habit.
Yes.
Just like being lazy, right?
Yep, man. I refuse to be lazy.
Never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis